Ebusafo a high Ghanatube so modofo snowy matina sibium and ensem ahodo bi a ekoso e the four corners of Ghana ebremo na me num enkwan no enje fufuo no afei so me ma me ponko empenti nti me pese ye be wakotie ensem ahodo bi a ekoso e wo oman Ghana na se ba na ebusafo matwa so e dia ma ofefefe ye nkotie mbra.
Up next here on Ghana Tonight, in another act of amnesty, this time not by government but by the NPP. They say that all suspended members and individuals facing ongoing disciplinary proceedings have been granted a pardon. So whereas the president has just granted pardon to these inmates, prisoners, the NPP has also granted amnesty to all its members who were suspended, as well as those who are facing disciplinary cases that are pending. So that's the decision the party has taken. So they are also in the mood of mercy. And this was contained in a statement signed by the General Secretary of the party, which has since received a lot of reactions. And in fact, some persons who were suspended by the party say, well, the manner in which they were suspended, they rather want to be apologized to before they come back. They don't want this kind of amnesty or mercy extended to them. So this is the details of the statement as we have it. I write to inform you, National Council at its emergency meeting held Friday, July 25, resolved in the interest of unity and reconciliation to grant a general amnesty to all party members who have been suspended or whose disciplinary cases are currently pending before the appropriate adjudicatory bodies. We hereby serve notice that this directive lifts all suspensions and waives any ongoing proceedings against affected members. So every member of the NPP who has been suspended, I mean, we could talk about SUBCRIBE, all the likes, so and those who left the party to form another movement, Alan Kojo Chairman Solomon Owusu, and then you have all of them in there. They say oh, if you're left as a result of an act which then amounted to your suspension, they say all of that has been waived off. Just come home. Members who have forfeited their membership are required to submit a formal application to the National Secretariat for reinstatement. Upon reinstatement, you shall remain ineligible. And this is where the catch is. It says, yes, you'll be reinstated, but then you shall remain ineligible to contest any internal party election until a mandatory 2-year period has elapsed. It does not state whether you can vote or not. But then again, what is clear in this statement is that you cannot be voted for. But it did not state whether, you know, after your reinstatement, your vote is valid. But then again, it said you cannot be voted for after 2 years. Until after 2 years, you can't contest for any election. Don't dream about it. But then they go on to say this measure reflects the party's unwavering commitment to fostering internal cohesion, strengthening solidarity, and preparing collectively for the political task ahead. So the intent behind this statement is the act of unity. They want to reconcile the party and then also ensure that that drive for unity in the party is giving some momentum by this act of mercy and granting amnesty to these persons who have been suspended from the party. Professor Samuel Adujemfi is a political analyst. He's a lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He's joining us on Zoom. Thank you, Professor Adujemfi, for joining us. First of all, I want to find out your thoughts about it, especially with the reaction that some persons who have been suspended have already given to this, that they rather want to be apologized to because of how they were suspended. You've heard the likes of Dr. Kennedy make that point, and the fact that even if you are reinstated, you shall not, in fact, you can't contest for any internal party election until after 2 years.
It's quite conflicting in terms of, for me, the way forward in trying to reconcile the party, especially on the tangent of encouraging those who are members of the party and have left to return. it should not come with many or several caveats. It should come with the need to allow for all party members to remain party members, because it's become essential to reflect on numbers around this time. One person may leave the party, one card-bearing member may leave the party, but he may be leaving with some tens or hundreds or thousands of people. And in that regard, you want to have all actors within the party, card-bearing members who have left, to also come back home. It is also to give a certain, show a certain picture, a kind of aesthetics for the public to appreciate that the party is on the track of unifying its members. And on that track of unity, they would have the capacity to mobilize and marshal forces to make them, viable and ready for any future contest going forward into 2028. It is quite confusing to me when the party is putting a lot of, if you like, rules around this. If I will borrow the word amnesty, then you are saying that they are hardened with no encumbrances, they are pardoned with no equivocations. And in that regard, you are not seeking to reflect on their sins if there are any which they've committed in the past. But a second leg is equally true, that these individuals, some of whom left the party, left because they were unhappy. They left because they did them in. They left because the party was not fair to them. So let no executive member of the party or any constitutional body within the party's framework assume that they are giving them some olive branch or some form of friendship, or they are trying to bring them in to help those people. It is rather for the collective good of the party, and the party need not have such posture when it is trying to, come about with this arrangement of inviting or encouraging those who have left to come home. It should be done in no uncertain terms with no encumbrances. It should be done wholeheartedly. It should not be done with suspicion. It should not be done with the notion of the fact that some of these people have left for quite some time and therefore you cannot trust them. Indeed, if there are people who are not supposed to be trusted, it is the current executives of the party, the leadership of the party that took the party into elections and lost by a margin of 1.7 million votes plus. So the party is in a state that requires all other persons within the party who have left to be embraced, and on the course of unity they must agree to disagree. On the course of unity, on the path of unity, they should understand that the tongue and the teeth are in close proximity. Because of that, there are from time to time some pain for the tongue to bear because of the sharpness of the teeth when there is accidents. So fundamentally, what I'm trying to project is that I think that I do not have clarity in my mind as to what the MPP is seeking to do with such announcement. But if
Morrison, actually find them in there as well. And if this caveat of not being eligible to contest any internal party elections for 2 years after reinstatement is anything to go by, the likes of Alan Chimanting would have been ruled out already, is it not? Because he's indicated he will contest the 2028 elections, Prof.
When I'm making exactly the point I'm making, because you see, for 8 years or more, maybe 12 years or more, the party experienced some element of Machiavellianism, an agenda for party hijackers to make sure that they jettison or forcefully removed individuals who they felt had independent posture or position within the party. they forcefully removed them. They used some constitutional machinations, sometimes misinterpretation of their own constitution, sometimes their lack of preparedness or readiness to allow for the rule of natural justice, the law of natural justice, to take place in terms, to allow for hearing the other side also to prevail. It was done. Several of the cases which came up were hurriedly dispatched. It was done with some degree of expediency, and those who were custodians of such kangaroo, structures, really did that to allow the status quo to remain. And it seems to me that today, whatever is happening is much ado about nothing. It is whitewashing of a tombstone. And inside the tombstone, you find skeletons. The MPP should stop this misbehavior. They should be interested in opening their arms to embrace all party members, including Alan Kojo Kyeremate, including all other actors who felt they were not treated fairly. And I dare say this, even for those who remained or stayed and have continued to stay in the party,
right,
they have issues with the party.
And Prof, the point well made there, and in fact, there's been some reactions, reference to the likes of Dr. Kennedy and Solomon also, and others who are saying that they want this caveat removed and some level of honesty to the entire approach. We'll see how the coming days will be on this. Professor Samuel Edujemfi, thank you for joining us. He is a senior lecturer at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Thank you for joining us.
SU4, wow, Monsempa, Ubetimiero comment, Abraham, comment section. Hit a comment box, no nafa comments, Nina, Egum, Emame, Namodofo Snowy, and one Feba, Mejibre, Nama Kenkai na Eddie, a mum for Veven. I said, reply to one, sir, Nama reply, Eddie, a mum of Fefe. Mika will say, channel, our share sui, Ghanatube, it was for on subscribe here, memory if you saw best subscribe. Now I think so, notification bell no, we do want to in me so for quick updates. Never forget, since we say, over like it, now share videos in Eddie, Ghanatube, so come on.